Hi, my name is Anushree Sharma, and for my class CS148, I have chosen the project on charged particles rigid body simulation. So here's a screenshot of my graphic application, which I'll go through in the demos later. So I've implemented various concepts like collision of rigid spheres in 3D dimension, um, simulated interaction between particles due to gravitational and electromagnetic forces, simulated various drag forces which happens when a particle moves in a viscous liquid, elastic collision with a spherical bounding box, and I've used Phong shading model for lighting. So in my model, particles have a certain mass, charge, color, and radius. Mass of the particle is equal to the volume of the sphere, assuming its density to be 1. And the charge is either positive mass or negative mass or 0. Where the red color particles or sphere represents negative charge particle, blue represents neutral, and green represents positive charge particles respectively. Particles respect laws of gravity and electromagnetism. Similar to reflection of light, these particles reflect when hits the bounding box. The area beyond the bounding box represents plasma, that imposes some drag force which is directly proportional to the square of velocity and inversely proportional to the radius of the spheres or particles. And the direction of the drag force is opposite to the velocity. Also, in this model, particles were rendered using a mesh containing 162 vertices and 320 faces. And the transparent bounding box was rendered using mesh containing 10,242 vertices and 20,480 faces. So there were definitely some challenges. One of them was that I wasn't very good at programming. I didn't have much experience, but somehow it kind of also made it fun. Handling 3D collisions of spheres and modeling physics, implementing forces like gravity, electromagnetism, drag equations in a simulation as accurate as possible was definitely quite challenging. And working with OpenGL, shaders, and transformations was a good challenge, but it was great. So let's get to the demo now. This is the graphic application. We have used Phong shading model for lightning. As you can see, there's right now there's just one red negative particle in the center of a translucent sphere, which is our bounding box, and outside of it the area is the plasma. You can, using the camera control WSAD, you can move around and zoom in and zoom out. So now by pressing P, we add more particles. We can keep on adding more and more particles, and the more we add, the more interaction between them starts happening. As you can see, it's happening right now as more and more we're adding. You can double the gravitational constant by pressing H. As you can see that we're pressing it, and the constant is getting more, constant of gravity is getting more and more intense. Similarly, we can reduce it in half by pressing L. By pressing K, we double the constant of electromagnetism. So you can see by increasing the constant of electromagnetism, the green particles are the positive particles are repelling each other, and the negative particles are repelling each other. And also you can see that the particles hitting the bounding box are getting reflected back into the sphere. Now if you can also toggle, if you want to see the particles to go into the plasma, press F for it. As the particles are going out into the plasma, you can see that they're restrained by a drag force. So yeah, basically that is all. Now there are a lot of control to toggle the to create various simulations, and you know the results will be really cool. So let's get started. Let's just try different effects, like changing the constants of gravity and electromagnetism and other forces. Look how cool it looks. Just added some more particles in it. And here we increase the gravity. And just reduce it a lot. Zooming out. And that is it. That looks really cool. And move around and see.